So today I'll be talking about how to get a better first touch. Now, in my opinion, having a good first touch is probably the most vital thing as a footballer because listen, the difference between the best players and the average players is that the best players they can do certain actions in one touch that the average players do in two touches. They can do certain things in two touches that the average player can do in three touches. And the thing with this as well is that it's key for your speed of play. Speed of play is very important. You need to be able to be quick on the ball, execute movements swiftly and quickly. The thing is with having a good first touch as well is that if you have a good first touch, your options are always open. You can always find the pass. You always have space to shoot, space to cross, and do all of these things. But if you let's say you get the ball in the middle of the park, you get the ball in the middle of the park. You're supposed to take a touch and then pass the ball. But if it takes you 4 or 5 touches to get that ball under control, guess what happens? All your options just sort of close off. You spent too much time on the ball, and now you have no one to pass to. And guess what? Now you're on the ball. You're looking around and you don't know what to do. And then inevitably you get caught on the ball, you lose the ball for your team, you put your team under pressure, potentially concede a goal, and now your teammates are looking at you, your coach is looking at you like, oh, what's this guy doing? So you need to ensure that your first touch is crisp, that you secure that ball, and then you play quickly. Whether that's you take a touch and you pass, take a touch and shoot, take a touch and dribble. You just have to be quick on the ball. You don't want to be getting caught on the ball. You don't want to be, taking longer than you need to, and then your options are closed off. Not only for passing as well. Maybe you take 4 or 5 unnecessary touches, and then the space that you had to shoot is blocked off. So when you take that shot, the defender's there. The defender blocks the shot easy. Or maybe you're a winger. Instead of you controlling that ball and then going at your man, you're taking 2 or 3 or 4 unnecessary touches, and then the fullback's closed on you. He's tackled you. You've lost the ball. Once again, put your team under pressure, potentially conceding a goal. So in my opinion, having a good first touch as a footballer is probably the most important skill beyond anything else. But that's just my opinion. So today I'll be teaching you how to get a better first touch. And the first point I want to say about having a good first touch is your body positioning. Now, the thing is, your body positioning is that you have to, especially if you're a center mid or a striker, you have to sort of open out your hips. Now, the reason why you want to open out your hips is to make sure that you're facing the game, that you're facing your options in front of you. Because if your back is towards the play, how do you know what's behind you? You don't know what's behind you at all. Like, you're literally clueless. And then guess what? In football, especially as a center mid or even a striker, even a winger, in fact, as a winger, even if you control the ball with your back to your defender, as soon as you take that touch backwards, that's what we call a pressing trigger. So literally now you're the press trigger. As soon as you take that touch backwards towards your own goal, you're gonna have pressure applied on you. The fullback's gonna pressure you, the other centre mid's gonna pressure you, or if you're a striker, the centre back's literally gonna pressure you. In football, that's what we call a pressing trigger. As soon as the other player takes a touch towards their own goal, that's when you have to, really put pressure, really go hard, really try to win the ball, trying to make that challenge. So you don't wanna be having your back to goal, and literally every single time you take a touch towards your own goal, you're under pressure. You're a pressing trigger. You have to open out your hips and play it. Open out your hips and play. Make sure you can see the game. Make sure you can see the game in front of you, so you can assess your options quickly. You know when to pass, when to dribble, when to shoot, or when to do anything basically. So that's the first point. Make sure your body positioning. Make sure your body positioning is anywhere is the direction you want to go. If you want to go to your right, don't have your body positioning going to the left. Make sure open up your hips, receive. Make sure you receive on that back foot, so it's easier for you to turn out play. Whether that's, like I said, whether that's to dribble, to shoot, to pass, whatever action you need to do, just make sure your body position is good. Make sure you're facing the way that you want to play. But most importantly, make sure you open up your hips so you can face the game. You don't want to be you don't want to be facing your own goal, facing your own defenders. You want to come receive the ball at an angle, so you can come and play out, so you can see the options, you can see the game in front of you, and yeah, just take it from there. So that's the first point. Make sure your body positioning is good. Make sure you open out your hips and you're facing the way you want to play. And then the next point is literally, you need to have bent knees. You need to sort of slightly bend your knees. I feel like when you're too upright, when you're receiving the ball, it's more likely that the ball's not gonna stick. It's not gonna you're gonna take a heavy touch, which in some situations is necessary, especially if you're like a fullback. You receive the ball from a defender and you've got space in front of you. Then obviously you can take that heavy touch. If there's so much green grass in front of you, you can take the heavy touch, drive into that space. But more often than not, you want the ball close to you. You want the ball close to you. You want to have tight touches, So literally, just sort of bend your knees. This gives you like a low center of gravity. Like think of all the players with the best first touches, or like the players who are the best at protecting the ball. You think of like Eden Hazard. Eden Hazard, this is low center of gravity. He's always sort of in a hunch position. Protect. He brings the ball in, traps the ball in, and he's protecting the ball. He's holding players off him. Doesn't matter if the players are bigger than him, stronger than him. We all know that clip in the World Cup where he was protecting the ball of Pavard, and then Pogba tried to come in and tackle him, but Pogba couldn't get the ball off him either. It's literally just that low center of gravity. So when you receive the ball, literally just make sure your knees are slightly bent. Also, this puts you in a more explosive position, so that when you have your knees bent, what's it called? When you receive the ball, you can turn much more easily. You can turn much quicker and just get out, and then, like I said, either pass the ball, dribble. You can go either ways with it. So make sure your knees are bent. You don't want to be literally receiving the ball. The worst thing you want to do is receive the ball with your back to your back to the play, upright, and then someone fizzes the ball into you. You try to take a touch, and the ball just bounced off you. The ball's literally just it's gone everywhere. It's gone 3 yards. It's gone 3 yards in front of you. You literally want to come at an angle, bend your knees, um, take that touch on your back foot, and then explode away. Explode away. Do whatever you need to do, whether that's shoot, pass, dribble, drive a few yards, whatever you need to do. So literally, second point, literally, make sure your knees are bent, so you're explosive, so you can turn left, you can turn right, do whatever you need to do. And then the last point is literally just scanning. You need to be able to scan. Just make sure, just literally just get into the habit. If you're doing a training session, literally, if you're doing like a warm up with your friend, and you two are literally just passing the ball as a warm up, you're doing one touch, two touch passing, whatever you need to do. Even when you're doing like pings and long passes, literally just get into the habit of literally just going like this. Literally just keep scanning, just get into the habit of just moving your head, just knowing who's behind you, what's around you. Because the thing is, you can have the best first touch in the world, but if you don't know what type of touch to take in a certain scenario, then there's literally no point. You need to know whether you want to go left, whether you want to go right. Do I take this on my back foot or my front foot? Do I need to use my instep? Do I need to use the outside of my foot? Maybe I need to use the sole of my foot and sort of hold the defender off behind me. Literally just basic things like that. Literally scanning is so important. You need to know, okay, do I need to play this in one touch? Am I under pressure? I need to play this in one touch, or do I have time to take it on my back foot, take 2 or 3 touches, and then play my pass? It's just little things like this. There's a reason why Messi, considered to most people, he's the GOAT. This guy, he's on the pitch, always just scanning before he receives the ball. Not even just like 2 seconds before he receives the ball. Literally, you'll see him, the ball be on the other side, and he's still just walking around, just scanning, just scanning. Then the ball gets played over to his side. He's still scanning, until he finally gets it, and then bang, he knows what to do. He's in action, gets the ball, and does what he does. So literally, you have to be able to scan, because like I said, you can be the best player in the world, you can have the best touch, but if you just have zero awareness, if you don't know what's going on, you're going to get the ball, you might take 2 or 3 touches, and then get closed down because you're under pressure. Or maybe it's a scenario where you're in space, you've got so much time and space, but because you didn't look around, you're scared that there might be pressure on you, and you play that pass first time, you rush the pass first time, and then obviously because you've rushed it, it doesn't reach its intended target, where you should have just taken 2 or 3 touches and then played it. So yeah, that's the last point. Literally, just make sure, just get into the habit of just scanning, just constantly looking around. Just know what to do in what scenario. Just know who's behind you, what's around you. So that's all I got to say for this vid. Hope you enjoyed. I've been JT, and I'm out.